listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode of Wine. Today we have me. My name is Tia, and I am drinking Rodney Strong Chardonnay Year 2015.
I'm Miska, and I'm drinking Connoisseur Carmenier.
Ooh,
that sounds fancy.
I don't know what
it does sound fancy.
So I'm Trice, and I'm drinking Winter White from Cooper's Hawk. It's delicious. It's nice and warm.
Yeah. Because you warmed it?
Yes. In my microwave.
Good.
For 1 minute.
Oh, nice.
And I'm Janelyn, and I'm drinking Charles Shaw Pinot Grigio, 2016. For doing years.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm Shirley, and I'm drinking Livingston Pinot Grigio. I do not see the year.
So today we're going to be discussing in our news segment some election outcomes, Roy Moore, Trump, and some tweets about Putin. In entertainment news, we got a couple of shout outs, and we're going to talk about someone named Hannah and her hair. And then in our Let's Whine About It section, we're going to talk about Joe Biden and mass shootings. And I hope you'll stick around with us. So just a quick disclaimer, if you happen to be driving or training for a body competition, or you're super religious, or you're an alcoholic, or you're under 21, maybe don't drink, Get yourself some apple cider, make a Shirley Temple, anything. Just no alcohol. Otherwise, go ahead and glass a bottle of that liqueur, wine preferably, and drink responsibly. Relax and join us for wine. Now let's get sipping.
It's always such a pour. Always such a pour.
All right, Shirley, with this reminder.
Oh, yes.
Just throw her in there.
Yes. So, guys, we are officially, when did it start? November 1st? We are officially 13 days into healthcare.gov being opened up for enrollment. That means you have about a month until December 15th to enroll for your healthcare. Just go to healthcare.gov. It's really simple. It's really quick. Make sure that you also, when you go to the website, check out the blackout dates. But if you're already at the website, you might as well just enroll in your health insurance. Again, you can use that as secondary insurance, even if you have insurance from work, from your spouse, whatever the situation is. It's always good to have a backup insurance. So make sure you do that.
And tell your friends and family.
Yes.
Spread the word.
So in election news, we want to give a shout out to the Democratic Party for winning.
Whoop, whoop.
Big shout out to everyone.
Round of applause.
Finally winning. Virginia was really huge, New York and
Jersey.
As well as some new elected officials. We have our first, I believe, transgender individual.
Yes. And she won against someone who voted against the transgender or the bathroom bill.
Yes. And then we have a Black Lives Matter person in office who also wanted to get someone who was not for Black Lives. I don't know. I can't remember the person's name. And then also just a shout out to the voters and the volunteers who canvassed and campaigned and pushed for voters to come out. All the voters who showed up and came out. I think one of the states, I want to say, was it Virginia, that had some inclement weather that people still came out and turned up for.
I believe so, yeah.
And then I am really looking forward to 2018 because if this is any indicator, this is giving me so much more hope. I don't know about you guys if you want to
So much more.
So much hope. I just hope this momentum keeps going and that we know how it feels to win. So we just want to keep doing that.
Yeah. And to all the Democrats, just continue to focus on the issues. And we know we have a lot of hate that we're dealing with in office with some of the elected officials, but just continue to advocate for your platform and your constituents, and we will support you through that. As long as you support us, we will support you.
Congratulations,
Absolutely.
Democrats.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're going to take a sip to them.
Yes.
We are. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to the Dems.
That was such a sip.
It was so ladylike. So, in other news, Roy Moore. He's the Republican nominee in Alabama for a U.S. Senate seat. He's the guy who won over Luther Strange. If you guys remember, that happened, was that probably a couple weeks ago? I don't even remember time anymore. The Washington Post broke about 4 days ago that Roy Moore initiated a sexual encounter to Leah Korfman when she was 14 years old and he was 32 years old. And he was an assistant district attorney. They met in the courtroom in Etowah County, Alabama, and Korfman and her mother said he offered to watch the girl while her mother went inside for a child custody hearing. And that's when he started talking to her, asked for her number, and so forth. So days later, she said he picked her up at her house and then drove her about 30 minutes to a home in the woods and told her she was pretty and kissed her. And then the second visit, he took off her shirt and pants and removed his clothes. So this is with just one of the ladies, Leah Korfman, but I believe now have been 5 women that have come forward saying that Roy Moore has sexually assaulted them. The latest woman, New York Times came out with an article, and this woman was Beverly Young Nelson, and said that she was 16 when she was assaulted by Roy Moore. And he's running for a Senate seat. And there are a lot of people who are still defending him, saying that it's just very convenient that these allegations are coming out, during election time, and that they're saying that it's not true, and these women are just coming out just trying to get him not elected. So gross.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I think it's the perfect time for it to come out because he's running.
Right.
I think it's
Isn't
the
this
perfect
an
time.
election? Isn't this what usually this is when all the slander and stuff comes out?
Right. I mean, even if it's not like an election or whatever, and these women came out, like if I was a woman who he's sexually assaulted and I know that he was like winning and he's about to become like elected in a Senate seat, I would come forward right then and there too. It's like, I don't want this guy in government and, running for us.
And also it shows, like, thinking outside of this specific case, the power of women having their voices back. Because like it seems like, okay, yeah, it's so convenient that it's happening now, which yes, it's part of it, but also they felt empowered enough to be able to do that in the environment that we're in now. And I think that speaks like leaps and bounds to the strength and the power and the force of a woman getting her voice back. And I'm proud of them for finding that strength through so many other women who have stepped forward recently in the past few months.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the time. Why not? Also, I just feel like everyone should be getting called out for shit that they shouldn't be doing. So,
Right.
to get called out and be held accountable for his actions. He's also a crackpot. Crackpot? Is that the right word?
Crackpot.
Yes, it's the word anyway. Like, some of the stuff that he's done is like, he's been kicked out of office before for stuff. So I just feel like this is probably more reason as to why people should not vote for him and why he probably should have never been on the ticket in the first place.
And what were those things? I'll tell you. He was first kicked out of his seat on, I think he was on the Supreme Court of Alabama, for refusing to take down a monument to the 10 Commandments. And the argument was that it's creating a religious environment and not everybody is necessarily Christian. So you can't, it was like, don't mix government and religion, but he refused to take it down. So they took him away. Then he got reelected. And in 2016, he got removed from his position because he told the courts in Alabama to ignore the now unconstitutional practice of not issuing same-sex marriage licenses to people that wanted them. He's also accepted donations for his foundation called like the Moral Law Foundation or something, and he took donations from a neo-Nazi group. So he's just a stellar guy.
He's just the great
outstanding
ass.
citizen.
He's the bee's knees.
He is exactly what we need in the Senate.
Yeah.
One time he said that
Hypocrisy.
9/11 may have happened because we distance ourselves from God. So that's something that he believed as well.
And he messed with little girls, you know?
Yeah.
So
I thought America was founded upon religious freedom. That's why some people came here to face religious persecution. But that's, neither here nor there.
Right. But the problem is with Roy Moore is that he's like such a fanatic that he has such a big following that no matter, even with all these allegations, I think there was polls coming out saying that the Republicans don't care if these allegations were true or not, and it didn't really sway them from not voting for him. So,
yeah.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That's reflective of them.
Yeah,
like if you're extreme enough and you're, kind of rallying all these extreme and very intolerant ideas, that it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, as long as you say you're going to uphold those extreme values, then they're right behind you, and it's not cute at all.
It's disgusting, and I don't understand how, I mean, for being Roy Moore himself, to even have these allegations to be like, that's fine, I'm still going to keep running. Like, it's not even facing him, and he's saying that it's, not true. And there's, like, other senators who have told him to back down. Like, you need to not run. This isn't good for you. Yeah. But he's so, hard-headed and, like, has biggest pride that he thinks that he's going to overcome sexually assaulting a 14-year-old and he's going to win this.
Right. Well, and then there's also senators and other politicians that are backing him up, right? Like the most popular argument, listening to our guys over at PSA, listening to, hey friends, listening to them, and the biggest argument that's circulating is, if it's true, then he should back down. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's basically innocent until proven guilty in their eyes. So yeah, they're gonna support him because it's, they would rather have him than a Democrat. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, basically anything is excusable as long as you're not a Democrat these days.
And I get that, but that's also very fucking scary, because like that's how we got who we got in the office too. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Just like this man, he pulled out a fucking gun during a campaign rally. Like, who the fuck does that? Because he believes in the what's amendment is it? Second Amendment?
Second Amendment.
Like, what kind of shit is that? Like, I just can't with
anything is excusable as long as you're not a Democrat.
Right.
And that, like, to me, that makes me question the Republican Party within itself of like, at what lengths are you willing to go to garner support and win an election? That you're like going to the very extreme side of the situation, when it's like, where's some moderation in this? Where's the moderate?
Yeah. Because they're going to see it as like not tied to his policies. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were saying that there was a poll, they being our friends over at Crooked Media, they were saying that there was a poll that, like back in the day, the question was, do you think a politician cannot have like high moral standing and you still trust them with like their policies when they're elected and something like that? And the overall consensus used to be, no, they can't. Like, it has to match up, right? Like, if you have these moral values, then, we trust that you will uphold taking care of your constituents and stuff like that. And it's basically flip-flop, where it's like 70% believe that no, you don't have to have like high moral values in your personal life and then still be able to uphold the benefits for your constituents. And it's like, this is how twisted we are now. Like, we're okay with people being completely immoral, but we'll still elect them because they're Republican. They're not a Democrat.
That's
like,
scary, though. That's fucking scary.
I wonder, though, if that also speaks to a shift in culture where you think about celebrity endorsements. That used to be the thing, right? Everybody wanted to be like celebrities, and they were seen as like these great figures that were perfect. And if they said, hey, use this hair remover, everybody went out and bought this hair remover. But now it's moved to YouTubers and real life average people like you who have flaws and bear their lives and share all their problems, and you're more willing to listen to them and take their endorsements for their word than you are somebody that's getting paid a whole bunch of money and has all the stylists and trainers and everything in the world. So I definitely see the part of like, oh, it's Republicans and they're just willing to do whatever no matter if somebody's immoral or not. But I also wonder if it has something to do with like,
well, that's what I'm saying. The cultural shift in general has changed and flip-flopped, because the answer to that would say, I will elect someone that I like, a politician that I trust has a high moral standing in their personal life, because I trust this politician. This politician in their public life is very trustworthy, therefore I trust you to vote for you. Like you're saying, culturally that shift has happened, but also politically that shift has happened, as we clearly see with the 2016 elections. So yeah, I think it's totally tied with it. I think, obviously, I don't think they ask that questions in these polls, like these political polls, but I mean, it shows in how the results are. It totally shows in how the results are.
Yeah.
It's just scary, man. Scary.
Yeah.
Because even if he didn't if you take out the sexual misconduct or sexual harassment, he still shouldn't be in office.
No.
Put that to the side. Like he's gotten kicked out of shit. For
which, if you're kicked out, you shouldn't be able to be reelected again.
No.
But,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going with it.
That should be more reason as to why he shouldn't be
right
for office.
I mean, even he's a politician, but it's still a job, so it should still be held up as if you've been kicked out in different jobs. That should be a stain on your reputation, and it shouldn't be something that you can run for Senate anymore.
Yeah.
Think about even with okay, if we're applying for jobs and doing resumes and our curriculum vitas, if there's a certain track record of you've been working at this job for less than a year and you've been getting fired from these fucking jobs, no one's going to hire you or ask you for an interview.
Right.
So why should you be able to run for anything ever again after you've already been kicked out of shit of office?
Yeah.
So fucking terrible.
He's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
I think that's a good consensus of him.
I think we can end it there. Yes.
He's a horrible human being.
He's a horrible human being.
Don't vote for him.
Please.
Yes.
Just don't.
Yes.
Please.
If you have family in Alabama, call him up.
Because apparently he can't be off the ballot anymore. He's already on the ballot. They can't.
The deadline is too late.
It's done. Yeah. So he's on
He's
there.
not going to willingly take himself off of the ballot.
But you know what we can do? All of these voters who have these rights and are registered, please go vote. And vote against him.
Don't vote for him.
Go show up to the polls and vote against him.
Yes.
Because we know you guys are out there.
Alabama has fairly nice weather in December, right? So
you should be good to go out.
It won't be too cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Just go
out there.
Go on your lunch break, before work, after work. If there's
Take a
an
friend, take a
know
family
your
member.
absentee ballot rules for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you got to send an absentee ballot before the actual election day, you can do that. So you don't
Make
have
sure
to
you're
actually do
registered to
anything.
vote. You know,
Yes.
register to vote. Spread the word.
All
Sure.
of that.
Do it.
Because it
Get your
works.
neighbor down the street to come with you to go vote.
Don't vote alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a buddy.
Have one.
Bring a buddy.
Buddy
The buddy system always works.
Virginia did it. You know, they turned them all Dems. Alabama, you got this. You can do it too.
You got this.
We believe in you.
Show up. All right, so this person who is currently in office is the president-ish. He's overseas right now during a tour, I guess, trying to build up relations with international relations, and he's still tweeting. So we have a couple tweets to share that are ridiculous. His first one says, when will all the haters and fools out there realize that having a good relationship with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing? They're always playing politics, bad for our country. I want to solve North Korea, Syria, Ukraine terrorism, and Russia can greatly help. Does the fake news media remember when crooked Hillary, as Secretary of State, was begging Russia to be our friend with the misspelled reset button? Obama tried also, but he had zero chemistry with Putin. Oh, this is my favorite. Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old? These are air quotes. Sorry, guys. But I would never call him short and fat.
Short and fat, I'm proud of that, and so with all my might.
And then he goes, oh, well, I try so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen.
I just...
He sounds...
This is the president?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
He sounds like a jaded girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he tried to be friends and he tried to, you know, court him, and he just said no. So now he's just out there saying that he's short and fat.
Pulling a Taylor Swift.
Well, now he's out here zipping it and doing it with Putin and shit. Like, what the fuck is that about? Can we, like, what?
Putin.
So I guess he must have, during the meeting with Putin, he had a conversation with him and asked him personally if he had anything to do with the interference with the 2016 elections. And he said no. And Trump says, I believe him when he says that. When he tells me that, I believe it.
Trump believes Putin?
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
I'm bringing it back to this, but there's allegations of Roy Moore saying that he molested a 14-year-old. We can't believe that if it's true or not. Trump believes Putin and it's okay. Like, we're just going to take that as like, okay, if he believes him, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine.
You know what, Mueller, stop your investigation. We don't need to let those people go because, well, he had no interference.
Right.
In election.
Let it all go. All this Russian interference, the Facebook shit, it doesn't even matter. If Trump believes Putin, then that's it.
All the real news people, everyone's fake news. Facebook's the real news, even though we know that that's not true. Yeah, so Trump's denying all these Russian interferences with the elections and everything because, well, Putin told him so.
Yeah, they're best friends.
I just think it's really crazy how this is like he's tweeting internationally like this is, and he's meeting with these like dictators and authoritarian people, and it's like, why are you meeting with them? What do you have to gain from this? Also, you're only going to be president for a few more years, so like, what do you think you're going to solve? Like, what do you think you're going to do differently that hasn't already been done or tried?
Well, all presidents do that, though. All presidents do that. They all make diplomatic trips.
All of it.
No, I'm not saying
hugely. I just heard that.
I'm not saying that you can't make a trip to be like diplomatic, but like you're meeting with people who have been known to oppress people and murder people and things.
President Duterte of the
Well,
Philippines
they're the
are
leaders.
best friends
So
with
That's
him.
who they're supposed to meet with.
But like, why are you taking a meeting with this person given their history when the former president did not do that?
Right.
Are you
was
speaking
not-
specifically of what is it?
Duterte.
Duterte?
With
Mhm.
him, I mean,
I mean, with him, yeah, but
yeah.
Go
With
ahead.
him taking a meeting with Duterte, I think what was missed is that he never touched base on like human rights, what most presidents would have touched base with the president of the Philippines, because he's crazy and he's like killing everybody who's a criminal and not even giving them like a fair trial. He's just killing them. So most presidents, like take for Obama or whatever, he would have talked to him and like expressed the U.S. His views on human rights, whereas Trump is like, keep it up, you're doing a good job, and he won't touch it because he agrees with what he's doing. So that's why he takes that meeting with Duterte. Yeah, but I think the Philippines was Trump's last leg of his Asian tour there. So he should be heading back home, I guess.
yeah.
Can he stay over there? Can we send him somewhere else?
Right? Just
No.
keep
There's
going.
some other. What about Antarctica?
Why
That's
would you put that on somebody else?
Because we're tired, Tia. We're tired.
Right. My God, like,
Yes. But this is America, and we have the freedom to fight things off. Blah blah blah. We're
Yeah.
not pushing off our problems. We made him, and we're gonna deal with it.
But even if he's gone, he still has his Twitter and he's still ruining our lives internationally.
He is still ruining our lives internationally. That's true.
So
That's true.
he doesn't have to physically be in the US to be a dipshit.
Just extend his vacation, because that's what it really is.
In entertainment news, I want to give a huge congratulations to my big sister in my head on her 1500th episode. Congratulations, Wendy Williams! Wendy, dear Wendy. So I can say I have been an avid watcher since 2009 when you first started, and I have not missed an episode.
She hasn't.
It's true.
Sorry.
We can all attest to that.
You won me over. Not that you had to win me over, but because you just like, in your show encompasses everything that I would like you give me all the tea, and then you interview people, and I appreciate that. And you also, I like how you tell it like it is, and I know that it's really hard for you to sit in that chair by yourself, but you do it every day, and you give us the real, and I appreciate you for it. So congratulations.
We also want to give a shout out to Colin Kapernick for being GQ's 2017
CK.
Citizen of the Year. Shout out to GQ as well. Okay.
GQ.
I just want to highlight that they put him in rare company as people that spoke out against social injustices, along with Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
They were willing to stick up and risk their career to stand for something that they believed in.
On my timeline, I see that one of my friends had posted this video of this girl, and so there's this, I don't know her last name, but there's this white girl named Hannah who proceeded oh my God, I can't without laughing.
As you should.
Oh Lord. Okay, so she's white, and she's already like bleached her hair a few times.
Dyed her
And
hair.
then aside, like after she dyed her hair, she like realized, I guess it was like damaged or whatever, and she went to the drugstore and she bought a relaxer, which is primarily used for coarse African American or like thick hair to straighten.
Kinky
And
hair.
So kinky, and so she proceeded to give herself a perm. which is what we call it, but it's a relaxer, straight. And in the midst of doing this, her hair fell out, and now she's bald. And,
sorry, I knew this, but it's just so funny to hear again.
right? So she then proceeded to make YouTube videos about her damaged hair journey, and then is now offering tips.
Shirley.
Yes.
And Shirley, go.
Sometimes things happen to us, and when they happen, you have to decide to learn from it and move forward. The other day, something happened to me that I never thought would have happened in a million years.
Let's sip. Real quick. Let's sip. So even if I didn't know anything that was going on, I'm like prepping myself for a tragic and traumatic scenario for her. Okay, go on.
My dog got kicked. Yeah.
I got cancer. I got kicked out of school. You know, someone passed away.
I got
something
sexually assaulted, which is
on that level.
Yeah,
The quiver in her voice, the look in her eyes. That's the vibe I'm getting.
You're thinking it's something horrible.
So
I mean,
horrible.
but that's
something happened that she thought would never have happened.
Right. And that's if you don't pay attention. So the title of this video is How All My Hair Fell Out by Making One Mistake. So I'm like, girl, like,
did you set your hair on fire?
Right. Like, was this a challenge video? Like, what did you do?
What happened?
Let's watch.
And I had to take it in that instant and figure out what to do next. Because I thought I didn't know what to pick. A year ago, I went from having very long brown hair to bleaching it out for the first time ever and dyeing it pink.
As you do.
I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what it was like before, but I want you guys to understand that I use my hair as a whole other thing to express myself.
Like Medusa.
And then the other day, everything kind of changed. I bought this new product for my hair that I thought would help it. And so I covered my hair in the cream and waited the correct amount of time, and I got in the shower.
Okay,
when
stop.
I turned around in the shower.
Let's sip.
Did she, because I didn't get to watch all of the videos, did she express what it was about the relaxer that she thought was going to help?
She's always
Sort
straightening
of.
her hair.
Right.
And so she thought to get away from the damage that she gets from always flat ironing.
Oh, from
that
heat.
she would just put chemicals that destroy the structure of your hair
On her bleached several times hair.
bleached and dyed hair.
Yes.
Dyed and white. Okay.
And
White.
bleached,
Very-
dyed, thin and heat damaged hair. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Proceed.
Yes.
So
But yes, Trice.
number one, you do not cover your hair in relaxer. You do the roots. Number one. Number two.
Well, pause. No, Trice, because she had never.
Not if
gotten
it's
it
the
done
first
before.
time.
Right. You got to do all of the hair.
The first time.
Her hair was already straight. But okay. That's hence my point.
Go on.
Number two, you do not rinse that shit out in a goddamn shower. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's chemicals. You rinse that shit out in the bathroom sink. Actually, no.
The kitchen sink.
Bigger.
Yes.
So, yes. And I want to ask her, the other question is, did she use neutralizing shampoo?
You know she didn't.
All right.
That's what I was wondering. Did she put the activator in the cream? Did she put the activator?
Okay.
She did.
Yeah. Did she Vaseline her edges? No.
Just some regular ass Pantene or not Hello Hydration. What is that? Herbal essences.
I love herbal essences.
And
I
then
won't lie.
Ew.
the other thing is, rule number 1 is if your hair is bleached, you don't get a perm. Like, you don't get a relaxer. You wait 6 weeks at least before you get a relaxer. So why would you think that it was Oprah? Because I know she don't have no black friends. That's what I'm assuming. Because no, she should have talked to this.
She
I'm
must
gonna
not,
say that.
because
I'm gonna
they would
say,
tell
hey,
her.
Let's hear
He
more.
should have asked them. But
I
yes,
wanna
let's
know
go
more.
on.
Let's hear more.
Tia, let's hear more.
I felt all the water rushing through my hair. I was trying to wash it out, and it started feeling really clumpy. And it started falling out. I could feel my hair coming out and going down my back. And you could hear it splashing in the water.
Let's just quick side note, that's what happens after pregnancy and your hair starts shedding.
Oh, okay.
It just starts falling out in clumps.
Okay.
Go on.
I like how Shirley's like, all right.
Why is that not valid?
No, that's valid.
It's valid. It's valid.
It sounds so scary to me.
Just wait till you have a baby, girl. All right, go on.
Baby girl?
It started just coming out in patches. And then the more I tried to wash the product out to make sure that it was gone, the more I felt like it was coming out. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I got out of the shower. And I already knew it was really bad because I could see that the water wasn't going down the drain anymore. So I got out and I put my towel on and I wiped off the mirror, and you could see that the whole side was gone. And so I called my roommate Dana, and I was hollering to her, and I told her that all my hair was coming out, and she didn't even believe it. And so when she came over and she saw it, Dan told me to get back in the shower to make sure all the product was out. At this point, when I went into the shower, I was in there for like an hour, and I was just like, I couldn't even move. I was just standing there, and I was just pulling and running my hands through it.
I have a few things to say.
The nails.
And I'm about to take off my hood, but I don't want you guys to see, so I'm gonna go like this.
Oh my God. Why was she in there for an hour? Like, it's not gonna make your hair grow back. It's gone. It's gone.
Wait. No. Oh, okay. I'll keep playing until this funny part, but then we'll move on to the next video. But yeah.
Getting the rest of the loose strands out. And then when I got out, I decided to just put my clothes on and keep my head in a towel.
Opposed to being naked.
And the next thing I did was I came into my bedroom, and I have these two giant mirrors on my walls. And I came in and I flipped them completely around because I decided I did not want to see myself.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Bitch, what?
Don't look at
You
me.
had to turn the mirrors around because you could not look at yourself. Honey.
I imagine her room looked like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Like, he has a painting of herself just scratched out. She don't even look at her face anymore.
Don't look at me.
What?
That's how her life has become now.
Yeah, it's bad.
What?
Hashtag first world problems.
Anywho, so that's most of the first video, but her latest video, the title is, this is from a day ago, I'm Not Okay. So she had another, she She had a Q&A video right after, just to back up a little bit, right after this first video where she talks about her hair falling out. She had a Q&A video where she answered questions that people had about the video, like what was the product. She tried to blame it on drugstore, that it was a drugstore brand, hence that was the issue. But then she read the label and realized if you have damaged hair, you can't use it. And her excuse was she didn't realize how damaged her hair was. But okay, it also says if it's bleached or whatever. Okay. And yeah, so there wasn't really much to the Q&A video. And then right after that, about a week after that, she had a how to grow your hair fast video. And all of the tips are what ethnic women typically use to have stronger hair that grows quickly, including using coconut, like not the natural oils from your hair, brushing your hair, not using a towel to dry your hair, because it like it literally looks like she YouTubed videos for like how to grow your natural hair, and it was all Black women.
I mean, she did use a perm. She used a relaxer, so she was already there.
It's right. She found her niche market, I guess. I don't know. So she did a YouTube video a day ago, and it's titled "I'm Not Okay." Let's take a look, shall we?
I am trying so hard.
I'm wearing
heels, I'm wearing showy clothing, I'm wearing push-up bras, I'm caking my face in makeup, wearing fake eyeliner, like wearing all this stuff, but for what? I took 100 steps back from the confidence that I had, and I was always preaching.
Let's sip, honey.
Okay.
Honey.
I'm fine with that.
Why are you in a bra? We get it. You're a girl. Why are you in a bra? To show that you're a girl. What? Why?
But that backwards cap is just like, are you a boy?
That backwards cap.
Right, and then the backwards cap, like she's got like a full face, and then her bra to show that she has breasts, and then a backwards cap, and you wonder why people can. I mean, that's too far. But like, why you're trying so hard? Like, chill, bruh, chill.
Please.
But she literally doesn't look like a boy.
She doesn't.
She doesn't.
Exactly.
Like if she had a strong jawline, or like, you know what I mean? Like she's got a chubby girl baby face. She looks like a girl.
Her makeup's on point too, so it's not like she doesn't look like a boy to me, and she just looks like a modern woman with a edgy haircut. So
right. But like
she's
understand. Clearly and completely insecure about it.
Yeah, that YouTube that lighting though for this video is on point also. Like can you talk about that? Like her production is on point.
About how like everyone is themselves, and you aren't like what you wear. You're not the makeup you wear. You're not your hair. And why am I still struggling with this? I feel like I have to over-exaggerate all this stuff just so that people will look at me the same. Like, people will look at me like they don't have to guess who I am or what I'm about. I can sit here and lie to the world and put on a face and tell you that I'm okay, when in reality, I don't know if I'm okay. I don't know when I will feel okay. It's just it's on me. Oh, it's easy to feel alone. Like what really actually sparked the idea for this video in the first place was like a few things. One was hearing back from all these people that did watch my video that have lost their hair and are struggling with people assuming that they're boys because they have short hair. That's a huge piece. And then off of that, I still didn't see myself, or struggling with like how I saw myself and thinking that I looked like a boy myself, until I was back on Live Me, where people all over the place hop in, they see me for 2 seconds, and for some reason feel like they have to ask me. So I could relate to those kids, but then going out again, finally, there's two things. There's me thinking like, wow, I am so strong because this happened to my hair. I'm an idiot, whatever. I made a video and it's reputable. Like, I can go out and I have all these views, so oh my god, it's whatever. Anyways, if someone asks. But then there's the people that know that already, and all the girls are trying to build me up, and then
what's she saying? What's she talking about?
She's talking.
I don't even know if I want to keep going.
It gets better after this, but she's like talking in circles. It makes
she's talking about how she felt like she
break it down, Trice.
It sounds like she was questioning because she feels insecure. She feels because she's bald, right? Because she ain't got no hair. She feels like that people are judging her for looking like a boy.
Yeah.
But then, like, she's also recognizable because she has all these followers. And so at the same time that she recognizes that she has these issues, that there's other people out there who also lost their hair that don't necessarily have the following and the, like, the
I didn't get that at all.
That's what
I thought she was just talking about herself.
She was, but I think that's what she was trying to say.
It was like a little humble brag that was inserted in there.
It was a humble brag.
Trice, you're like a social media whisperer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I feel like she started off that way, but then it became like, who cares if people have an issue because I have like a reputable, well-known YouTube video. Right. So whatever.
That's how I took that as too.
Yeah,
honey.
And that's what she was saying. Sure. But then she's also trying to say like, but there's people. She wants to share the story to let the people out there who aren't like her. That she's not. That they're not alone.
Guys that don't know how to act, and that's fine. But I feel like at the end of the day, like especially at parties, everyone is so visual. So it's one thing when I already don't really like how I look to then kind of be shown that I don't look that good either to boys because I don't have long hair for some reason. And so I'm trying to overdo it by wearing all this stuff and by putting fake lashes on. And of course, the one night that I did feel good and I went out and I didn't decide to put on a wig, that of course that's the night that I felt the worst because I was confident in what I was wearing and it still wasn't enough.
What wasn't enough?
I want to know what wasn't enough.
What wasn't enough?
So my understanding for this is that she didn't get enough attention from boys, or when she liked a boy, they were like, like no. Which at that young age, early 20s, boys are fucking idiots anyway, right? So like, stop looking to boys for validation, which is what I think she says that towards the end before her unmasking. But it's like, that's the one point in the video where I was like, oh honey, you're so young.
Yeah.
like
you want to pat her on the head?
Young, like
darn, that was gonna be my summarization. Just like
yeah,
but
because it's like, well, so I felt that, right? But then we'll see what else she talks about, and I'm just like, no, you
but
just don't get it. You don't get it, and
shows,
it's just for the views.
Yeah. It just kind of shows, but up until this point, like, she's never had any negativity thrown her way about her looks. Mm-hmm. And this is probably like the first time ever that people are paying attention to her, and it's rocking her fucking world. Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't quite understand or grasp the fact that no one is wanting to be with her.
Yep.
Right. Well, and she even said it, that she used her hair as a way to, because, I mean, we saw she had brown hair. She was still cute and pretty, but she was trying to branch out and be out there and be different. So her hair was her way of doing that, mm-hmm. Which plenty of people do. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. So it's kind of like, the evil side of me is like, girl, that karma done bit you in the ass, didn't it? Like, the one thing that you use to, like, put yourself out there and, like, make yourself so distinguishable and all of that, and that shit got snatched with the quickness because you were trying to do something extra, and that's what you get.
Very extra.
What you get.
I just want I mean, she is young though. Like,
she's very young. There's 3 minutes left.
Sorry. I feel like, you know how when, and maybe you guys have done this before. I know I used to do this a lot in college, and me and my friend Alexis would talk about this, how you're in the house. I feel like she went through this whole, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat my face to the gods. I'm going to put me on a cute outfit, and then I'm going to go out there, and you can't tell me shit because I'm fine, whatever. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but I know this happened around when I was 20, 21, where I would get real cute in the dorm room or in my apartment and feel cute drinking cheap vodka, like in the car going there. When I get to the places like
Boone's Farm,
this is not cute, it's not fitting, it's ill-fitting. Why did I think that this was a look? So I feel like it also sounds like she's kind of struggling with some of that, like, perception when you have, just like when you take a selfie and you feel cute and then you take it and it's like, bitch, you're hideous. So I feel like
I feel like from what I got from it, it feels like she went out with her friends, feeling real cute, but she was the one friend that didn't get the boys' attention. Like that one friend that's just like, I'm gonna sit my drink in the corner. Like, I feel like that was her that night, and so now she's like rethought her whole life and her existence. So on our segment of Let's Whine About It, first up we have Uncle Joe messing with our emotions. Trice, bring us on in.
Take it away.
Uncle Joe has a book coming out, and he's doing this tour, and it's getting on my nerves. So Uncle Joe has been toying with us about running for president of the United States. And there is a possibility that he can run in 2020, and he's fucking toying with our emotions. And I don't like it because I just listened to a fucking podcast with him and Oprah, and he's all like, Bo wanted me to run and wanted me to do it, but I had to be at home with my kids, which, damn it, you're a good person. I get it. You want to be a good grandpa. You want to be a good father. I get it. But we need you, Joe.
Yeah. I just, if he actually runs, I really feel like it'll be like the greatest thing ever.
It would be.
like for real, especially after 45. Like, talk about like hope. Like, he'll have a lot of work ahead of him because I feel like he'll have to possibly undo a lot of things.
Possibly. Girl.
I mean, well, because it really depends on how the other election goes. Like, it really depends on 2018 and who gets elected, like who our Congress people are. You know what I mean? Like, he'll have a lot to undo, but hopefully it won't be so much of a battle if he has a good Congress. Like, if we have, if we have the House, the Senate, you know, like, if we have all of that in our back pocket, then it could be really great for a Democratic president.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to like have a candidate that you would actually like and who's actually a good person and you'd feel comfortable to be the leader of our country. Because like, it'd be a nice change.
Yeah. He like still rode the train, touring from Capitol Hill, from his, I forgot where he's from. Scranton, yes. From Scranton, like still taking the train, and so he like takes the train with everyday Americans and was like hearing their stories, which is why he kind of predicted, like based on the stuff that he was hearing from the everyday Americans he was on the train with, that Hillary probably wasn't going to win because it was like it became more or less about her issues and just about like whether or not she was trustworthy in her and her like it wasn't her, like the issues that everyday Americans cared about. And then the other thing he can do, he's like this everyday American where like even though he was senator and vice president, everybody still like calls him Joe because it's just like he's everybody's friend. And so
or Uncle Joe.
Yeah, just like nice.
Or the
Like
average
he's
Jim.
genuinely a good person.
God.
And I feel like he can bring, I think after dealing with all the stuff that's going on right now, I think it would be a breath of fresh air to have someone who's in office or at least running that can bring back those values. Like,
and he would, I feel like he would pull a lot of 45 voters. Like, I feel like he would, like those voters that voted for Obama and then voted for 45, I feel like he would for sure bring them back to the Democrat side. And yeah, stop playing with our emotions, Uncle Joe, because I'm ready. He had his stop of the tour in New York today, and it'll be in Philly on Wednesday, and it'll be in Chicago, I want to say in the next 2 weeks. I forget the exact date. Check out the tour information. I'm going to find it out real quick.
It's on Ticketmaster. He's going to be in Chicago on December 11th on Monday.
There you go.
Ooh.
And he's coming to St. Louis, never. So.
But check out the tour information on Ticketmaster, and you can find the closest city to you. I know he'll be in DC and a couple of other places. So if you have the opportunity to see him speak, why not? Go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about toying with our emotions, though. His tour is called the American Promise Tour. What are you promising to us, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be our president?
2020? Joe?
What are you doing?
Dear Joe? Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Are you 2020? What's happening?
Joe,
Okay.
dear Joe.
So I feel like, I don't know, there's been a mass shooting at least, I feel like every few weeks. It's really, I shouldn't be laughing, but like it's getting really disgusting. And so after the shooting in Texas, which 26 people were killed, including like adults and children. There's been a list. So there's this ongoing list of like, I guess the top 10 mass shootings in modern day history. And when I first saw the list, I was pissed because I feel like this information shouldn't be shared, because right now we have these individuals who are getting a hold of guns and killing people. And I just feel like at some point that each shooting that happens after this new Texas one, like someone's going to try to top that list. Because as originally, the Columbine shooting, which took place in 1999, early 2000, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was originally in the top 10 list, and that's no longer in the top 10. And I just feel like this list that has come out, I don't want to go into details about how many people are being killed or into the list, because I don't want to give this any more fuel. But I just feel like people, like the news outlets posting this list, is only giving further like copycat shooters or people who may want to or contemplating or planning out mass shootings will try to top this list of the number of individuals that have been killed. And I just feel like we should know this, but at the same time, it's like with the stuff that's going on right now, there's a lot of copycat stuff going on and people wanting to get put in the news. And I just feel like it shouldn't be shared.
Right. I agree with that.
That makes sense.
And I don't think, even as the sensitivity of it all too, you're just being kind of insensitive, itemizing, and, having a list of how many people have died in this mass shooting. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just one person, like that's already one too many who have died because of guns.
So, like, I get it for information's sake, but if the average person isn't going to benefit from this in terms of making policy change or whatever, we don't need to know. But people just feel so entitled to have all of the information. But it's up to like our Justice Department and our policymakers to be like, okay, we're going to take this information. We're actually going to do something with it. We don't need to divulge everything. So I'm on the fence, basically, is what I'm saying, is that, like, I get the reason why that information is out there, but, like, okay, behind the scenes, are people actually doing anything about it? We know in terms of gun control, no. So what? And, like, I was talking to someone about it, and they were like, I feel like there should be armed security at churches. And I'm like, that's
Come
not the
That's
answer.
No,
Like,
that's not the
that's
answer.
not the answer to the problem. Like, what?
That's
So
not how you should be living your life. Right.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so thank you for listening to another episode of Wine. You can find our podcast on Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube. So please, please, please review, rate, subscribe. We appreciate any and all feedback and constructive criticism. Also, you can follow us on all social media platforms at Wine Podcasts with an S. That is Wine Podcast with an S. Thanks for joining us.
And also on Android devices.
Oh yes, I don't know
Google
about that.
Play Music.
Yes, Google Play. I was like, I don't know what it's called.
We need to add that.
Play Music. For those Android listeners.
Hey.
We're growing.
Bye. Bye.
Good night and bye.
Sleepy time. Night night.
For us. Yay, bye guys. Ladies.
A lamp behind me would help. Well, what can
No, it would need to be
No,
in front of your face.
Yeah.
So we can see.
I wonder, but I don't think we only have, you know, that lamp that's like square and it has like the shells on it. Would that help?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe get up and get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we such creeps?
I don't know. I love it though.
All right, hold on. Let's start. Shh. Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode.
We can't start without Miss Katia. Stop.
This is making me so sad.
I want her to. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, do it.
Hello, listeners and viewers. Welcome to another episode of Wine. Today we have Tia, that's me, and I'm drinking Rodney Strong Chardonnay.
Are we what?
I knew.
I've really gotten into ASMR. I watch a pickle one.
Surprise.
Like the crunchy kind, like Vlasics.
Yeah.
Man,
And then she talks.
it's got a crunch. Sponsored by Vlasic Pickles. Go ahead and use the code word wine podcast on Vlasic Pickles. $1 off a jar of Vlasic Pickles.
Vlasic Pickles / wines with an S.
I would love if like random sponsors would have like Vlasic Pickles. I would die.
Affleck. For me, it showed recording, but it might have been because you were recording.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But now I am recording.
Yeah,
Are you?
I'm recording now.
Are you? It was like,
Do you know where your kids are at? That's what that sounded like.
I was just checking.
It's 10 o'clock.
Just checking.
Do you know where your children are? You would think after all these allegations of Russia.
Oh, Jen, your nail color's cute. Sorry, ADHD. Complete ADHD. Your nail color's super cute.
Thanks. They're gel, but they're coming off now. I'm not a fan.
Trice was legit like talking to Wendy Williams. Like that's why I was trying to like keep my
Hey,
face
Wendy,
straight.
I just want to
She's my
it's
best
gonna
friend
go
in
in.
my- She's like my big sister.
It's gonna
Like
go in
in my
there.
head, we about these, and I'm like, oh my god, what is she talking about? Right?
Trice was
letter to
actually
Wendy.
fangirling to Wendy Williams, but talking to us. Like I was like, "Where's Wendy? Where is she?"
Like, shh, let her keep going. Let her keep going.